would all the members of the planning committee please rise?
No.
I guess
Let's offer a round of applause to this amazing group. Would Worshipful Brother Joe Milner please stand? Our ability to use this historic and prestigious Alpha Club would not have been an option without Worshipful Brother Joe Milner. Thank you. I would also like to recognize the past Masters of Progress Lodge that are in attendance this evening. Would you please stand and share the year that you served the Lodge of Peace? And we'll start here to the left, to my left.
Brian Anderson, and I am not 100% aware what year I was. Right off the top of my head. So.
It was 2018.
Yeah, 2018 it sounds like.
Joe Hanasak, I believe my year is 2016.
Benjamin Young, 2014.
William Featherston, 2015.
Kevin Lloyd, 2019.
Jim Harvey, 17, they tell me.
Kelly Wade, 2007.
Scott Thompson, 1999 and 2003.
Thank you, brothers. Without the support, wisdom, and guidance from these brothers, it would be impossible to enjoy all of our lodge's success. Will the brethren please rise? And finally, we're extremely fortunate, and it is with great honor that we have with us this evening Most Worshipful Daniel J. Laws, Most Worshipful Grandmaster of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons in Utah. Will the brethren please join me in offering public grand honors, which is a battery of 3 times 3, taking your lead from me. And a hearty welcome. Most Worshipful Sir, we have reserved some time for you a little bit later on for some remarks, if that's all right.
I'll work on those.
All right, the remainder of the evening will go as follows, I hope. In just a few moments, dinner will be served. Towards the end of our dinner service, we will hear a few words from our newest Master Mason, Brother Brian Turner. Following his address, we'll have a few words from our Most Worshipful Grandmaster. Dessert has already been served, but just before we dig into that dessert, we'll have our brother Shaun Davis, Junior Warden, offer a toast to the lodge in celebration of our lodge's milestone. And then if it pleases the group, I have a short historical oration to share while dessert is being consumed. In preparation for the dinner service, can I please ask our chaplain, Brother Stephen Burden, to offer our prayer.
The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville 9 that day. Wrong one, sorry. Lord God and giver of all good gifts, we are grateful as we pause before this meal for all the blessings of life that you give us. Daily, we are fed with good things, nourished by friendship and care, feasted with forgiveness and understanding. And so, mindful of your continuous care, we pause to be grateful for the blessings of this table. May your presence be the extra taste to this meal, which we eat in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
So let it be. Thank you. All right, dinner is served. We will proceed as we mentioned just before and enjoy the meal.
1 minute sunshine and next you're crying in bed. Life is so funny.
like
teacher.
most of
You can
us
do
are about
this.
finished with our main meal, so we're going to go ahead and proceed with the rest of our evening. So at this time, we'll bring up Brother Brian Turner, who's going to offer a couple of words for us. Our newest Master Mason for Progress Lodge.
All right, thank you, Worshipful Master. You guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so good evening, everybody. First off, everybody looks fantastic tonight, so it's an honor to get to spend the evening with you guys. Also wanted to give a big thanks to the committee for putting all this together. They put a lot of hours into this, and it shows because it's a classy event, so thank you. So our Worshipful Master asked if I could share a few of the reasons I became a Mason and my thoughts on Progress Lodge. It's important that you understand why he asked me to do this. And that was because I'm the newest Master Mason and not because I'm good at speaking in front of people. So please keep that in mind as I babble and butcher this. What brought me to Masonry? So I was brought to Masonry for a lot of the same reasons I think most people are. The mystery, the learning, the brotherhood. And while I enjoyed the mystery and the learning, I was really hoping to make some more friends and meet some good people to enjoy spending time with. And I've been blessed that's how it's worked out. So to be honest, the friendships that Jen and I have made with the people who make up our lodge are amazing. And I feel incredibly lucky to have such a wonderful group of friends and enjoyed the time we spend together a great deal. So thank you all. Why I chose Progress. So from the minute I met the Brothers of Progress Lodge, they made me feel welcome, and actually more than just welcome, they made me feel valued. So I'm a big believer in the importance of surrounding yourself with people who make you feel good about yourself and push you to be better. And the brothers of this lodge do both. So through their genuine kindness, great sense of humor, and wide variety of interests and hobbies. What keeps me coming to lodge? So what keeps me coming to lodge is it's the brotherhood and the friendships that keep me coming to the event. So when I get together with our brothers, I always know I'm going to have a good laugh and a good time. So I also know that I'm surrounded by people who I can count on for anything. For instance, if you want to improve your golf game, go play 9 holes with Steve-O, and soon you'll realize that your golf game wasn't as bad as you thought. And you'll feel way better about yourself. So, the things I most value in Masonry, and I would say out of all the awesome and wonderful things, the thing I value most is the relationships that I have with people in this room. So thank you for making me a part of the Progress Lodge family, and cheers to the next 100 years.
Could I get our Brother Secretary and our Junior Warden to join me up here real quick? We have a presentation and a gift for our most worshipful Grandmaster, so if you wouldn't mind joining them as well. It's a good one. You'll enjoy it.
I did this once recently and was a little surprised.
I remembered that, and so I took that into consideration.
I almost wore that shirt.
So before we give you a few moments to speak to us, we wanted to give you this. I'm going to take it out. So the first thing we got here is a wine glass. So for those of you that may not know, our most worshipful Grandmaster is in the medical field and a very huge Disney fan. And so his wine glass says,
Heartbeat of a Disney addict.
and on the other side it has
Progress Lodge
Progress
number
Lodge
22,
22.
established 1920.
So he doesn't forget who gave it to him.
I love that.
And then I've also got a bottle of wine so that you can, christen the glass. And then we also got you a book, a Disney book, so that as he drinks the wine and ponders life, he has something to write those thoughts down in.
You know how much I drink. So if I do the wine, ponder, make the thoughts,
You'll have to let us know what those words are. Some of us will be very
Maybe Jancy can describe it all.
Well, I might need somebody to actually explain to me what I put in there, so. And this is your wine.
It is. It's a bottle of wine that I made. One of the bottles that I've reserved for our fellow crafts. So
I love it.
I made sure to get a bottle for our grandmas.
Signed even.
It is.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that very much.
I'll just put that right there and
We'll figure this out.
put it in your hand. And then the floor is yours for a few moments. Thank you, brothers. Appreciate it. I'll tell you what, while you're speaking, I'll go sit down by your chair.
Thank you. It's always a good thing before the Grand Master gets up to preface that with, he's going to share a few words with us. Kind of gives me an idea of my constraints for the evening, so. Good evening.
Good evening.
Wonderful to be here. And congratulations to one of our newest Master Masons in the state. That makes me very excited to see us make Masons. For those of you that have been to Grand Lodge, if you know Most Worshipful Brother John Lively and you've heard him speak about membership, there's two things that Masonry is, right? First thing we do is we make
Good men.
Make friends.
we make
Good men better.
we make Masons.
Whoa.
You said that.
Okay, then what do we got to do?
Make them friends.
Then we got to make them friends. We can make all the Masons in the world, right? We can bring droves of guys in. We can do it like other states do, and we do a little bit where we might bring in 50, 60, 80 guys in one day. That if we don't make those connections, as you spoke to, why would you come back? Why would you come back? At our core, we are a social network, right? We're a social group. We're a fraternity. Probably the oldest surviving fraternity here in the world. And every other fraternity that's come after that has somehow patterned itself after what Masons do. But I love how John Lively can boil it down to those two things. Make Masons, make friends. That's what keeps us coming together. And I won't call it a theme, but one of my favorite pieces of ritual comes out of one of your most recent degrees there. Ladies, you don't need to plug your ears. It's in one of our books. It doesn't have lots of weird letters in it. But at our core, from my perspective, and I think this fits in with what John will say, is we're a secret society, or a society with secrets, however you want to do that, of friends and brothers. And that's really what Masonry should be about. And it's an extra bonus when we get to bring our ladies out. And I love that they play along and they get dressed up and they have fun with us. It makes it all the more a social network when we can bring our families into it. So it's very exciting. You get to celebrate 100 years of Masonry as the Grand Lodge gets ready to celebrate 150 years of Masonry here in Utah here in just a few months. So I want to thank you for the invitation to come out tonight, for a lovely meal, for the conversations I've been able to have with all of you. I look forward to hopefully joining you. Well, I won't make your next 100, I can guarantee that. But, as you guys continue your birthday celebrations, I look forward to celebrating those with you. So thank you all.
All right, and now while we finish eating our desserts, I'm going to give you a little bit of a history. I did some research on Progress Lodge, and here's a couple of things that I had found during that research. So I'll start this off as a typical oration. Most Worshipful Grand Master, Grand Lodge officers, Worshipful Masters, past Masters, brothers, ladies, and friends all. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share with you a fraction of the history of Progress Lodge number 22. On November 30th, 1919, the Salt Lake Tribune printed the following headline: Masons will admit new Progress Lodge. Quote, with the perfection of their organization completed, the Progress Lodge of the Masonic Order has petitioned for admission to the Grand Lodge of Utah and will be admitted to the Utah jurisdiction of the order on December 13th under direction of the Grand Master and other officers of the state organization. The new lodge was organized with the following officers: Fred C. Hathaway, Worshipful Master; Norman Boat, Senior Warden; Thomas Charlton, Junior Warden; and Jesse Lufero, Secretary. end quote. On December 15th, 1919, the Salt Lake Telegram printed the following article. Headline, Progress Lodge Number 1 begins with membership of 200. Quote, Progress Lodge Number 1 under dispensation was instituted Saturday night at Masonic Temple by officers of the Grand Lodge. The new lodge begins with membership of 200, who were formerly from 32 states and 3 foreign countries. Addresses were made by Dr. John Carver of Ogden on the unity of Masonry, and by the Very Reverend W. Fleetwood on the progress of Masonry as an example to Progress Lodge. Congratulatory addresses were also given by the 4 worshipful masters of the other Salt Lake lodges, including A.E. Eberhart of Wasatch, R.E. Harris of Mount Moriah, Harry Schnell of Argenta, and C.F. Barrett of Acacia Lodge. Officers of the new lodge are Frederick C. Hathaway, worshipful master, Norman Boat, senior warden, Thomas Charlton, junior warden, Jesse Lukeborough, secretary, and Mr. Brimmer, treasurer, end quote. Between December 13, 1919 and April 27, 1920, the 200 charter members of then Progress Lodge under dispensation worked diligently to complete all the tasks necessary to meet the requirements set forth by the Grand Lodge of Utah to earn their charter. This includes the lodge performing funeral services for a charter member. Brother Charles Gordon Van Alstyne. Brother Van Alstyne served a very short military career in the Army as part of the aviation service. He was commissioned as second lieutenant in 1918 and served as commanding officer of Gridley Field until it was abandoned. He was discharged at Mitchell Field, Long Island on October 27, 1919, and later died on March 26, 1920. This had to have been an emotional service for the Brothers of Progress Lodge, as the funeral for this charter member took place 31 days prior to the lodge being presented with its official charter. The Salt Lake Tribune reported on April 28, 1920 the following. Headline, Progress Lodge of Masons constituted. Quote, the dedication and constitution of Progress Lodge number 22, free and accepted Masons, and the installation of its officers took place at the Masonic Temple last night. Grand Master J. L. Ketron, assisted by other officers of the Grand Lodge of Utah, was in charge of the ceremonies. This lodge, which has been working under dispensation since last December, now has its charter and place among the Masonic lodges of Utah. Following the installation of officers were the addresses by the Reverend J. E. Carver of Ogden, Dr. A. C. Wary, and E. R. Rogers of Salt Lake. A luncheon was served after the ceremonies. Officers of the new lodge are Norman R. Vogt, worshipful master, T. W. Charlton, senior warden, J. R. Corns, treasurer, J. H. Lukeborough, secretary, Dean W. W. Fleetwood, chaplain, E. T. Smith, senior deacon, E. M. Garrett, junior deacon, L. M. Evans, senior steward, and D. E. Cameron Tyler, end quote. A beginning is a very delicate time. Know then that it is the year 2021, and Progress Lodge number 22 has experienced 101 of the Earth's orbits and observed the demonstration of its various revolutions. 101 revolutions ago, 200 Masons from 32 states and 3 countries desired to form a lodge. Through their care, diligence, and aspirations, Progress Lodge was formed. By way of Masonic education, friendships, brotherly love, and welcoming to its doors and admitting to its privileges worthy men of various creeds and classes, the lodge built a firm foundation of membership, tradition, and character. The personality of the lodge today must be quite different than it was 100 years ago. Of the original charter members of our lodge, many found employment in the railroad industry. There were even more prominent businessmen and a number of members serving in the military and multiple company presidents and business owners. Today, Progress Lodge has members that find themselves in the employ of the railroads, a few current and former military members, and company presidents and building owners. But over the years, Progress Lodge has embraced our namesake and added to the melting pot of brotherly love and friendship men who are educators, technology experts, doctors, rocket scientists, marketing specialists, financial gurus, transportation and logistics managers, and many more. This reminds me of an oration that I read from 2009 during the Bountiful Grand Lodge visitation by Most Worshipful Brother Alan Record, who was then Grand Orator Alan Record, and is a current honorary member of Progress Lodge. In that oration, he talked about how our history is the window to our future. Quote, "It is important that we don't let our history perish. If we shut the window to the view of the path not yet taken, much will be lost." End quote. Sharing our history and telling our stories with new members and friends will help to preserve that history and those traditions, which can allow our lodge to strengthen and foster growth into the future. Most Worshipful Brother Record shared the following passage that our charter members understood so well, and it is our responsibility to recognize and carry forward. Quote, "We've heard the old adage that history repeats itself. This is usually brought up when discussing things that have gone wrong, however. This also is true when things go right. When we learn from the lessons of the past, a positive history can and will repeat itself." End quote. In the 101 years of existence, Progress has experienced both successes and challenges, but through wisdom, leadership, and lessons from history, the Lodge has been able to correct the course. We know this for certain because we are here celebrating the 100th anniversary of our Lodge. Our Lodge does have a history of greatness. It has produced many distinguished members of the fraternal family, including 9 Grand Masters. Norman R. Vogt in 1933, Otis C. Scaife, 1948, Henry H. Hamill, 1956, Glenn B. Colt, 1962, H. Scott Hamill, 1973, Leroy S. Axland, 1981, James A. Bud McIntyre, 1988, Bruce R. Betts, 1996, and Jeff A. Cretin, 1999. The initial 200 brothers set high standards, and it has been the responsibility of all that have followed to strengthen the Lodge, improve upon traditions, and ensure that Progress Lodge number 22 can celebrate up to and including and beyond our 200th anniversary celebration. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening and celebrating this anniversary with us. And please enjoy the rest of this evening. Literally just now was the moment you noticed that I forgot to have our junior warden come up and offer the toast. That literally just happened. So Brother Junior Warden, would you mind coming up and
Well, skip the court martial, John.
thank you.
I think a toast is very appropriate at the end of that speech, actually.
I
Does everybody have a drink?
No.
Make sure you get one before I get started.
Oh, there he's got it. Water.
All right. April 18th, 2020. That was the day that we were supposed to be here, toasting a lodge that would turn a centenarian 9 days later. Now, 1 year and 5 months to the day after it was initially set, this event seems even more special because Progress had to be a little bit more patient for its big night. April of 1920 saw the then widely publicized end of the Spanish flu pandemic, which began in February of 1918. And I wonder if Progress's Masonic forefathers 101 years ago had some of the steps of the Constitution of this lodge confounded in a similar manner as this celebration was delayed by the start of yet another pandemic in March of last year. Good things come to those who wait. So here's to a good lodge, with a good history, good brothers, and great ladies and families supporting us. Cheers.
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 All right. That pretty much concludes the rest of this evening, so feel free to finish your desserts and enjoy yourself. But first of all, and mainly, thank you all so much for sharing your Saturday evening with us and celebrating this milestone of our lodge. And may peace and harmony prevail, and you all travel to your destination safely.
I roll those dice lucky, it never comes along. Girl, when you leave, one request I do have, oh, please leave me my bride. I have this lucky right here in my hand. Life ain't funny, no, not to me. Cold winter morning. next to no sleep. Through my window, a fog thick as the night.